everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Hill. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button and like and share this video. Okay, so 18 months ago, I gave birth to twins at home unassisted with my daughter and my partner by my side, and it was the most life-changing experience ever and definitely has been such a massive shift for me. It was such a transformative experience, and I'm still integrating everything that I've learned from that birth and just from mothering twins and now being a mother to 3 girls, and it's just been such a massive life up-leveling in so many different ways. It is so hard. I don't have another word to use other than hard, because it is just that on a daily basis. But it is also the most beautiful thing I have ever done in my life, and I am so grateful for everything to be able to carry twins to 40 weeks and to birth them at home, and there's not a second that goes by that I'm not incredibly grateful for that. So it has been a whirlwind for sure, and I haven't done an update for quite some time now. So basically the babies turned 18 months last week, and feels like a massive milestone again. It sort of feels like, you know, every 6 months there's always like these massive like points that we get to, and it's like, okay, we've made it to 18 months, like we're here. We can, you know, give ourselves a pat on the back for how far we've come and all of the changes that have been made, and it is definitely such an incredibly busy time. They are just so active. It's this exploring stage, so they're constantly wanting to climb up on things, you know, climb up on the dining table, climb up on the chairs, draw on the walls, put the crayons in their mouths, you know, just it's non-stop, really, is basically what I'm trying to say. So very, very, very busy, both of them, and they are constantly on the go. A lot of the time they really, really want to be with me, and so that's always a challenge, because I'm like, I only have 2 hands, I've got 3 girls, you know, I'm always like, how do I balance it all, and how do I give each one of them the attention that they need? And it's emotional for me, because being an only child, I feel like I always got the attention, so I'm still trying to learn as I go in terms of how can I feel like I'm really like giving each child what they need. And what I'm learning is that it's really just about being in the moment with them. It's not so much of like, oh, I haven't spent like this much time with this baby, and I spent more time with this baby, or had more cuddles with this baby today. Like every time I'm with them and I am with them, I try my best to be 100% present with them. So I always give them eye contact. I'm always on their level. I'm always listening to them. I'm always understanding them. And they are so vocal at this age. It's wild. Like they are really communicating so much, like so many words. And it's funny because I find Elio will say some words, and then Rumi will say some other words, and they're sort of different, so I can kind of tell who is who based on what they're saying, like if I'm not looking. And it's so cute because they repeat almost everything, like literally almost everything. So they're always singing, or they'll like sing songs that we listen to, or repeating words, or just expressing themselves. And it's really cool to witness and see how much they're talking and how much they want to talk and communicate. I think there can be times where they get super frustrated if they're not able to communicate a word that they're thinking of. Like if they see something that they want to touch and they can't use that word, or they don't know the word yet, then they can get very frustrated. I've found that's sort of a new thing in the last like 2 weeks, I'd say. They'll get sort of frustrated. It's not like a full-blown tantrum, but it's definitely big emotions towards wanting to use words and wanting to communicate. But I think it's cool for them to be learning and understanding that they can use words to communicate. I think that that's very empowering for them to be able to be like, oh, this mama, this, la 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 la. And even sort of putting 2 words together as well. Elio the other day said, more mama, and so it was like 2 words together. That's basically a sentence. Yeah, just them developing with their language and continuing on with that, and always repeating. I always repeat what they say and listen to them, and I just try to be as present as I possibly can be. Of course, it is really challenging when I'm like, okay, we come downstairs in the morning and I'm like, I want to make breakfast, and then they both want to be with me. And it's like, okay, but I also know that you're both hungry, so I have to make breakfast for you guys, and I can't always just be physically there. So that is for sure a challenge. I'm sure it's one that will develop and change over time. As with having twins, it's definitely something I've had to learn, that there are little things like that. They also, like, if we have one of something, then that's like a huge problem, because usually for sure both of them will want the same thing. And then of course with having 3, then usually all 3 of them will want the same thing. So with that, Matisse and I are teaching them around sharing and how to share, and sharing is caring. And Matisse and I play this game where literally if I have something, then we just pass it back and forth together, and we go, oh thank you, okay, here, thank you, and then we do it in front of them and they watch us. And I've noticed that Rumi now will take some of her food and she'll go over and she'll give it to Elio, and she's like, here you go, Elio. Well, she doesn't say that, but she just goes and gives it to her and she says, Elio. And so I feel like those little things around sharing are probably going to be super important to continue just ingraining into them, because that just does become a massive conflict for sure. Yeah, they have started sleeping much better throughout the night. We went through a time where they started sleeping better, but I was still feeding them once in the night. And then basically I feel like it was probably in the last month or 2 that I was just like, hey, I'm cutting off the night feed now. They're just going to be having water through the night. I am still breastfeeding and it's really demanding, but I am keeping to just 2 feeds at this point. So it's first thing in the morning and then before bed. So I've cut out the feed that is in the middle of the day for the nap feed. That's now we're just giving them a little bottle of oat milk, and they go to sleep with that, and they're like, it's just the easiest thing ever. Like when we started doing that, I was like, oh wow, they're actually just going to sleep without me breastfeeding them for like half an hour. So that was a really nice transition. And yeah, just going down to 2 feeds has given me a lot more freedom, and I feel like it was really needed after, almost 18 months, or it is 18 months now of breastfeeding, but almost, I think I was like 17 months of feeding 3 times a day. So definitely I'm not feeding on demand anymore. I did have to set up some boundaries around that, and it was really difficult and challenging, but at the end of the day, I just have to still protect my energy first, because I am taking care of them. So it's always that balance of trying to figure out, like, okay, what do they need from me versus what do I need for myself in order to take care of them and be the best that I can be for them. So it's always just this like going back and forth ping pong match of just those 2 emotions basically. But I'm feeling good about this choice to have cut out the nap feed, and from here on out I will probably just follow my gut and intuition like I always do, and I'll cut out the morning feed next and then stick with the night feed for a while and then eventually cut out the night feed. So it'll be interesting to see how much longer I go for. I am definitely feeling almost done, but I think tandem nursing twins has been a very different experience from breastfeeding 1 kid. It's pretty obvious as to why, but it's just a lot more physically demanding, and it's not as restful to tandem nurse. For me. Anyways, I just feel like with 1 baby, I was able to kind of like go onto one side and do the sideline feed. With this, it's like I try to, but it's just a lot, and they're sort of like fighting now for the boobs. They're like, I just want to be on the boob by myself. So it's definitely a different experience. And I'm just grateful that I've been able to feed them for so long, and I've had such an abundance of milk, and it's been such a successful experience for us. I still have never used formula, even though I've wanted to, and I'm sure that I would have at some points. It's never, the right opportunity has never come out or up, and I've never put enough effort into trying to find one that just sort of fell into my lap. And with you know, with twins, it's like just pulling out a boob has just always been easier. So I've just stuck with that. What else? Oh yeah, elimination communication is going great. I am actually going to do a video on that, on a full update on that. So stay tuned for that. And what else? Oh yeah, they are eating like wild. Like I cannot even believe how much these babies eat. It's next level. Like, you know, when you just have one kid, how you can kind of just make the same amount of food that you would normally make for just like you and your partner, and just, you know, sort of whatever the leftovers are, like your kid will get, and that's obviously more than enough food for them. It's not like you're like, oh, I have to like make double of this or triple of that, whatever. And now with 3 kids, with there's being 5 of us, like I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, I have to literally buy double and make double of everything. Like it really, we are already at that point. So it's mind-blowing. They never seem to get full, and like I give them really filling foods, banana, you know, sweet potato, oatmeal, you know, all just super slow releasing carbohydrates, everything, and they are still just famished. They love eggs. They eat eggs all the time. Maybe I'll actually do a video on what I feed them as well, because they're eating super well. It just never feels like it's enough. Like they can just eat forever. So that means I'm cooking a lot. I am in the kitchen a lot, always thinking of the next meal, thinking of preparing the next meal. Snacks, you know, when they go out for walks and to the park. You know, always just thinking of how I can keep them fed, and it's just wild. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is happening. So yeah, it's just wild times, you know. About 6 weeks ago, Matisse tore his ACL, which was definitely super challenging in the beginning, but now he's gotten a lot of his mobility back, so he's able to walk and take them to the park and that sort of thing, and just keep them busy. We're definitely have fallen into a routine where it's like, okay, we wake up, they're up for a couple hours, and we have to get out of the house right away. Like they are so just like crawling off the walls practically to get outside and to explore and get fresh air. And so then they go out, and then they come back, and then they have their nap, which is around, I want to say anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, still working up to that 3-hour nap, but that will come in due time, I'm sure. And then they wake up and then have another snack, and then it's out and about again. So and then they come back and they have dinner and they go to bed, and bedtime has usually been around 7:30. We always aim for earlier because they actually sleep longer when they go to bed earlier. And then for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, they've been sleeping through the night, 7 or 7:30 until usually around 6 or 6:30. So it has just been so glorious, but definitely exhausting during the days to get to that point of like, okay, it's time for them to go to bed now. But yeah, honestly, not waking up in the night has just been such a game changer, and I don't miss that at all. Yeah, so it's just a busy age, and they're so cute, and they just are so sweet, and they just want hugs and cuddles and love all the time. And yeah, it's basically been super busy and amazing all at the same time. Some days are so hard and so overwhelming. I have no idea how I'm gonna get through them. And then suddenly the next day, it's like the easiest thing ever, and it's so amazing and so smooth sailing, and everything's great and so easy. Like one moment it'll be so hard, and then like followed by just like the easiest, most incredible, beautiful moment I've ever had in my life. And then it's like back to it just being so overwhelming, and like, how do I do this? And oh my goodness. And it's always just sort of like juggling balls up in the air with 3 kids. It's like just always trying to keep everyone fed, you know, well watered, hugged, nourished, listened to, taken care of, and yeah, it's just all of it all at once. It's wild times, that's for sure. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you haven't already subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and like and share this video, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao for now.